Hi friends, welcome to TechieMit. So in the continuation of the multi-threading series, today I am going to bring you a new video on cyclic barrier in Java. So this is continuation with the last explanation on PPT. So I will today bring you a practical example. So let's go for it. So to start with, what I've done, I've created a class and created a main method. So let's start with the program and we'll deep dive into it. So cyclic barrier, we'll create an instance of it. Now see, yeah, so there is a constructor. So we'll there's in parties and in parties runnable mirror action. We'll take this, and in the parties means the number of parties that can be involved in the cyclic barrier example. It can be 3, 4, 5. In the sense, the number of threads it can be. Parties I've taken as 5. I'll take this as 5, and we'll use this. All the parties have arrived. Let's consider there is like a bus station, and we are waiting for all the passengers to be arrived. And what happened once the all the passengers have arrived at the junction, and it will soon start its departure. So all the passengers have arrived at departure at station. Soon it will start departure. So I just printed this. Okay. Yeah, you'll create an instance of it. Creating parameterize instance with parties and runnable. Now the point is we need an executor service to schedule the execution of these cyclic barrier. So I will take the class, take an instance of executor service. Executors new fixed thread pools. Yeah, so we have created executor service. We have passed this as parties. Now we'll jump into the actual execution of the executor service. So what we'll do, we'll take a for loop over here. We'll iterate for the number of parties that you've taken into consideration. And then equal to parties I plus plus. Yeah, so they have taken this into consideration. So we'll initialize it with the passenger ID. So that is currently executing, and we'll give this exit service dot execute. It will start at the execution. currently passenger waiting for execution. It will wait for some time, and we'll introduce the dot sleep method, which will introduce sleep for some time. Catch exception yes. Showing the error. Oh, taken a yeah, inside the it will sleep for a while. So we have taken it in the sleep section and post that yeah, we'll barrier instance but await yeah. So sysout statement is there. Passenger is ready for the bus. Yeah, so we introduce a sleep of 3 milliseconds. We have yeah, because we have awake wait until all the parties will arrive. Awake invoke wait after all the parties have arrived. All the parties have arrived. Milliseconds. Yeah, we'll what we'll do, we'll use the graceful shutdown for this executor server. Improve the process out. All the threads and finished execution. Exit service. We'll invoke the shutdown method over here. See how it does and how it behaves. Now this cyclic barrier have finished execution. Now see, in this program, what you have done, we have introduced a cyclic barrier which works on the concept that all the parties they reach a common barrier point and they wait until they reach the barrier point. And once all the thread reach the barrier point, and post that the barrier may be released. And so and it's called a cyclic barrier because such types of barriers can be held means in multiple times, so it's called a cyclic barrier. And so just with a simple program you have seen that how uh, it can be utilized. So in the first part you have taken a parameterized cyclic barrier constructor. After that an executor service which invokes on the with the fixed thread pool passed on to the parties. And we have taken a for loop for the execution of the depending on the number of parties. And finally we have closed the executor thread. So now let's see the output on the console. Sorry, yeah. So I'm just running the program, run as sub application. Yeah, see, you can see that currently the passenger one is waiting, the bus to depart is waiting. See, yeah, the output and currently passenger one is waiting for the bus to depart. After that, five is because it's not sequentially. So, like out of the five, any random number can be printed. So it's printed a 15432. It was waiting for the bus to depart, and after that, it showed that which passenger is ready for the bus to depart, ready for the bus to, yeah. So after that it printed all the passengers that are ready for the bus as a 51431 no 54132. And after that it printed all the passengers have arrived at the status. Soon it will start departure. So I just wanted to first stop instead of status, and we will just format this output and tab over here so that you can clearly see. Yeah, see, passenger one is waiting for the bus to depart. Yeah. So the importance of await termination is that it ensures that all of the threads have completed execution, and finally, when after this fixed time interval, you can invoke await termination so that all the threads complete the specified execution. And post that, definitely you can terminate the execution of the thread using executor service shutdown. That is done. 15432. Waiting for the bus to depart, ready for the bus. After that, it printed the line that you passed in the runnable instance. All the passengers have arrived at the bus stop to started departure. Because here we introduce a sleep of 3 milliseconds. After that, we invoke the await method. Yeah, it wait until all the parties have invoke await on this barrier. So until all the parties have invoke await, it will wait, and post that post all are arrived. After that, it printed the line. See, all the bus have arrived at the bus stop. Still, till all the passenger have not arrived, it will the await method will hold at the barrier point. Ensure that all the threads must be reached. It's like all the passengers are needed to board the bus, and post that it starts its journey towards the destination. Similar to that, we have this. So with this example, using practical and simple and small scale example, we saw that how the working of cyclic barrier goes, and uh, what should be taken into consideration, that how can a parametric constructor be used, and along with executor service, how you can utilize it in your routine programs or specific purpose for multi-threading programming course. So this concludes our session in the series of multi-threading series, in which we have covered numerous topics on multi-threading. So do keep liking, subscribing to #TechieMit. More to come on other topics. Stay tuned and bye for now.